Robert Raffenzel, and that's Robert McGrath, trout fisherman extraordinaire and chef owner of Scottsdale's Roaring Fork restaurant. He's attempting a feat of great daring, if not to say bravado. He's led us down to Arizona's famed Oak Creek, nestled in the Red Rock Canyons of Sedona, with just fly rod and skillet, to demonstrate the wonders of fresh-caught, pan-fried trout cooked on an open fire. Just in case the river isn't feeling very giving, I brought this little cooler with some fresh trout from the market, salsa, and a good bottle of chilled wine. And if this isn't enough rugged outdoor food, stay with us and watch Robert McGrath make the most of the Southwest bounty with his sugar and chili-cured duck, accompanied by green chili macaroni and corn sauce. All today on Savor the Southwest.
Out here in Arizona, the bounty of foods that we can bring in from the great outdoors is fabulous.
Oh, that's terrific.
I mean, we have onions we pick by the riverside. We have trout we can pull in from the river. I think coming outside and actually being able to enjoy nature at the same time you're gathering some foodstuffs to have a great meal outdoors is a lot of fun.
So you have chives there and green onions?
We have some chives and we have some of the wild onions that we gathered out here. And what we're going to do is just mix it with some melons.
That's simple enough.
Some honeydew. And you can use whatever melons are in season and available to you. And we'll add some watermelon. But whatever melons you have, available at the time, I mean, work great. So we're just going to take these melons. I mean, it's very simple. And we're going to, these green onions that we have and the chives, we're going to put those in there. And we're just going to toss this with this raspberry vinegar. I mean, it is so simple, but nothing will complement more the flavor of a nice, golden brown fried trout, fresh out of the stream. This is a great summer warm weather dish, which is something we get a lot of out here in Arizona, but everywhere in summertime, springtime, this would be a great dish.
You don't have to be outdoors, but it makes it taste better, I think.
It does. Plus, the acid in the fruits really helps contrast the flavor of the trout being fried. So, you want to get that cutting flavor, that contrast, to make all the foods heighten themselves. So it makes you enjoy the meal better.
Yeah. Now we need to cook our trout, right?
We do.
Looks like our pan's hot enough.
Cast iron is just mandatory out here cooking in the outdoors. With a campfire, you can get a lot of heat from it, but it doesn't usually last a long time. So you want to try and get a very even distribution of the heat, plus something that's going to retain the heat. So that's why we use the cast iron skillets and Dutch ovens outdoors. Plus, there's just something. It puts some soul into the food. It's like a character thing. I mean, would you put a trout in a nice stainless steel pan on a campfire? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And I think also, I mean, touching on that, there's olive oil is a beautiful thing. Everyone uses olive oil. I love olive oil. But when it comes to cooking trout in cornmeal beside the river, do you use olive oil? No, not a chance. Actually, I think the best thing that's going to give you the best. Oh, absolutely. I mean, look at us. Do we look that sophisticated? So I think the way to go here is really using a vegetable shortening. Okay. Well, the cameras weren't running when I caught my fish. They were busy. They were busy with you. Absolutely. I mean, people did see it though. I did have witnesses. But if you don't have the luxury of bringing a trout in from the stream, I mean, there are some beautiful trout out there, and thank goodness you saved this one. What we do is start right behind the gill and just make a cut right there, down through, and you want to lay your knife just flat right on the spine of the fish.
Should be sharp, right?
Oh, absolutely. You shouldn't pick up a knife unless it's sharp. I mean, we're assuming that we know that. But what you're doing is you're putting pressure with this finger on the blade to keep it flat, and you're going just right down the backbone of the fish. Okay. Now, one thing about trout is you're going to have little pin bones along in here. Now, you can take a pair of needle nose pliers and pull those out, or you can actually just pull them out as you're eating on them. I mean, they're not big, heavy bones that are going to cause any problem. All right. So after you've taken that fillet, what you're going to do is just take your knife and just slide it right under these rib bones. Just to take those out. And
that looks good.
It's beautiful, beautiful. Plus the beauty of the outdoors. I mean, this is just what it's all about here. You got a nice little fillet of trout here. You can bread and cornmeal and then pan fry, and you're in business.
Sounds great.
So now let's add a little fat to the fire.
That's more than a little.
Well, what we want to really do, though, is cover the bottom. We're gonna get the bottom covered with a nice little layer, and then we can spoon the rest of this out.
Oh, okay.
We don't need to melt the whole thing, but, it just looks a little more dramatic to go ahead and plop it all in there. See if we can fish it back out here. There we go.
Okay.
All right. Now we're going to bread our trout, and we're going to do the flesh side down first. Get a nice coating there. And
is there any reason why you're doing the flesh side first?
well, I just want to get an even coating there, and if you get a little moisture from the skin side, it's going to clot it up, and you're going to get some bumps on it, really. So now we're ready to put the fillets in the fire.
All right.